The drama begins with a little girl named Gia traveling with her parents on her birthday. They give her a gift, but suddenly, darkness surrounds them, and their car crashes. When Gia wakes up, she finds them all hanging upside down in the overturned car. As she calls for help, she sees her parents walking outside the car, but they look lifeless, which makes her scream. Suddenly, Gia wakes up and realizes it was a nightmare. She hugs her real parents, but then notices a toy broken just like in the dream and blood on her clothes. Confused and scared, she asks her mom for walnut cookies, even though she's allergic. Her mom forgets, which makes Gia suspicious her real mom, a doctor, would never forget that. Gia grabs scissors and attacks her, but the woman chokes her. Gia runs and locks herself in her room. As they break in, a mysterious man with a red umbrella appears and uses magic. He realizes she's not the person he's looking for and warns her to forget everything or he'll kill her. 21 years later, the same man, Leon, is shown during a rainy day. People are surprised since rain wasn't in the forecast, but he says it's because foxes are getting married. Leon, who hunts evil foxes, goes to a wedding and confronts the bride for eating human livers. She attacks him, but he overpowers her. She only wishes to see her lover once more before disappearing, leaving just her dress behind. Outside, people assume the bride ran away. Meanwhile, Gia, now working as a project director at an urban wildlife company, attends the wedding to gather info. She sees Leon and feels she's met him before. They investigate the bride's dress, and Gia finds blood and hair. A forensic expert says it's red fox fur, which shocks Gia since those foxes are believed extinct. She reminds him they all have GPS trackers. After she leaves, the expert nervously calls someone. Leon then visits the Afterlife Immigration Office, where he meets a female fox he's worked for over 6 years. He asks her how long he must keep hunting foxes. After a brief argument, a mysterious woman threatens to burn Leon's contract using magic, and he quickly backs off, claiming he was only joking. That night, Gia follows a lead and ends up at a bus stop. She sees Leon on a passing bus, but misses it, so she takes a taxi to follow it. Soon, she finds the bus has crashed at the exact spot her parents disappeared 21 years ago. Inside, everyone is dead except for one girl, Suyo. Gia alerts the police and later shows Suyo a photo of Leon in the hospital. Suyo weakly says, "He tried to kill me." Leon later visits the hospital, and Gia tries to get his fingerprints, but he avoids touching anything. She tricks him into touching her bag and secretly collects his prints. That night, Suyo wakes up in terror and whispers, "If you stay, you'll die." Gia takes her home for safety. At Gia's house, Suyo finally shares what happened when the bus entered a tunnel. The lights went out, everyone died, and a man with a red umbrella almost killed her. But in truth, Suyo herself is a fox who killed the passengers. She fought Leon that night and injured him. Later, Gia becomes suspicious when Suyo tries to leave late at night. Gia holds a piece of glass to her neck, and Suyo transforms into her true form, laughing. Just as she's about to attack, Leon appears and shows Gia an address, warning her they should never have met. A fight breaks out between Leon and a mysterious boy, his brother, who threatens to kill Gia if Leon fails to find a certain girl. Unbeknownst to them, Gia had cameras recording everything. Gia demands to know who Leon really is. He shows his glowing eyes and asks if she remembers. Gia replies that his magic doesn't work on her and that she has the footage. She leaps from the balcony, and Leon jumps to save her. As he catches her, she places a pendant around his neck and says she's been waiting for him. We flash back to Leon's past. He once lay under a tree when a girl named Em approached, gently stroking his head. When he asked who she was, she said she knew he was a fox. She carried a red umbrella and visited him every day, and over time they fell in love. But tragedy struck when Em was killed. As her spirit was being taken away, Leon tried to stop it but failed. He told her to be reborn, promising to find her again, and placed a fox bead in her mouth. Back in the present, Gia pleads for answers, and Leon reveals, "I am a nine-tailed fox." She asks why he saved her 21 years ago. Leon admits that Gia looked like the girl he was searching for, but she wasn't the one. Gia asks about her missing parents, whose bodies were never found. Leon, however, shows no interest in helping. Gia then shows him a pen drive with his secret and hints that she might expose him unless he helps. In response, Leon uses magic to temporarily blind her in one eye and warns her not to threaten someone stronger. Gia calmly says she's just taking a chance and drops the pen drive into a cup of tea, reminding him that foxes always repay favors. Later, Leon checks with the Afterlife Immigration Office and tells Gia that her parents' names aren't on the death list. She's relieved, thinking they might still be alive. Although Leon claims they live in different worlds, Gia begs him not to disappear again. They travel to an island where some skulls were recently discovered. Gia hopes to find clues about her parents. Leon realizes it's the same island where he once lived with them. He tells locals that skulls have been found there before. While investigating, Gia is suddenly attacked by a man with a hammer. Leon jumps in to save her and gets injured. When he treats Gia's wound, it burns unnaturally, and she suddenly grabs him, saying, "I've finally found you." She claims to be the girl he's been waiting for and asks why he killed her. At the same time, Lai Rang visits a sealed well with a mysterious woman. They plan to awaken a powerful spirit trapped there by offering a human sacrifice. The woman warns that if it wakes, even Leon won't be safe. Lai Rang admits he once loved his brother, but Leon killed him. Leon tells Gia her life is now in danger and urges her to leave the island, but she refuses. Meanwhile, the jungle woman prepares dark magic near the well. When Lai Rang tries to harm Gia, Leon protects her and tells her to escape. During the fight, Gia finds the woman's house and shows her a photo of her parents. The woman lies, but Gia senses the truth. She's knocked unconscious by incense. Later, Lai Rang tells Leon he delayed him so Gia could be taken for sacrifice. At the well, the woman creates a magical fire circle and tries to push Gia in. Leon arrives but can't cross the flames. Enraged, his 9 tails appear, and he summons rain to break the spell. Then he strikes the woman with lightning and saves Gia from falling. As he wraps a cloth around her wounded hand, Gia asks why he keeps saving her and what he's searching for in her. Leon starts remembering him. Gia thanks him and promises that one day she'll protect him too. Soon after, we hear a baby's cry. The baby is revealed to be the Imugi. Lai Rang hands the baby to a man. In the final scene, Lai Rang confronts Leon and pulls out a dagger, saying, "If you want to stop me, kill me now like you did before." In a flashback, we see Lai Rang ruthlessly killing villagers. Suddenly, Lai Yan appears. Overjoyed, Lai Rang runs to hug his brother, saying he missed him deeply. He explains that after Lai Yan left, humans burned down the mountain, and in his panic, he lost control and killed everyone in the village. Proud of it, he laughs. Lai Yan, heartbroken by his brother's actions, sadly strikes him with a sword. Back in the present, Lai Rang reveals he survived because the blow missed his vital spot. Later, Lai Yan visits Talupa, who scolds him for killing a human woman. He calmly accepts his punishment. Then, he visits Gia, who thanks him with a dinner for saving her life twice. She gently strokes his head, joking that animals like that. The gesture reminds Lai Yan of him. The next day, Gia tells him she's going to a funeral home, but he warns her against it, fearing evil spirits may follow her. Before leaving town, he gives her a small beanbag charm for protection. Meanwhile, Lai Rang tells Gia that she's reincarnated and that Lai Yan killed the jungle woman to protect her. Gia realizes Lai Yan didn't go on a trip, he's being punished. We then see him enduring his sentence alone on a snowy mountain. Gia asks Lai Rang where he is, but he refuses to answer and cuts her protective bag with magic, spilling all the beans. Later, a security guard sees children around Gia on CCTV, though no one is actually there. As Gia walks through a hallway, the lights go out, and two ghostly girls appear, asking for their father. Not knowing their spirits, Gia leaves, but they follow her home. There, they use her muffler to choke her, and she collapses. Sensing this in the underworld, Lai Yan realizes Gia is in danger without the bean charm. He begs Talupa to let him take on the deadliest punishment enduring the underworld of knives. Though warned it could kill him, Lai Yan insists, hoping to save her. Meanwhile, Gia wakes up in her home with her friend beside her. He tells her she fainted and asks what happened. Gia tells her friend that two ghost girls were after her. But when he opens a book upside down, and the lights flicker before he vanishes, Gia realizes something's wrong. The ghost girls are hiding under the sofa, watching her. Meanwhile, Leon is in the underworld of knives, crossing a deadly bridge where blades attack him. Gia is chased again by the spirits, and just as Leon collapses from his wounds, Gia runs into a building filled with more ghost children. Flashbacks of Am and Gia run through Leon's mind, giving him strength to finish the trial. As Gia nearly falls from the rooftop, Leon appears just in time to save her. She cries when she sees how badly he's hurt. A single tear triggers a glow, just like when Em was given the fox speed. Leon wakes up and says, "I found you." Gia brings him home and cares for him, staying by his side all night. A flashback shows young Gia playing with fireflies, believing they were her parents, while Leon secretly sent them to comfort her. The next morning, Leon wakes up smiling at sleeping Gia. His friend Shinju arrives and introduces himself as another fox. After caring for Leon, he leaves, and Gia and Leon enjoy ice cream. Leon says one scoop can make life sweet. When Gia asks about his first love, we see him learning archery from Leon. She wanted to kill her father, the king, who turned out to be the Amugi. Hearing her story, Lai Rang had promised to help her. Back in the present, Lai Rang tells Gia that Em's father was an evil ruler and not human. Later, Gia and Leon sit together, laughing and sharing opposite hobbies. When she asks about his dream, he says he wishes he could be human. Gia says hers is just to live happily with her parents. Leon asks for their photo. After walking her home, Gia notices fireflies again and realizes Leon used to send them as a child. She turns to thank him, but he's already gone watching silently from the roof. The next day, Leon visits Talupa with coffee and asks her to help find Gia's parents. But she can't locate them in either the living or dead realms. Meanwhile, Gia's company president visits, who is secretly the grown-up Emugi's caretaker. During lunch, Leon arrives and urgently takes Gia to a festive street. He leaves her briefly, and she finds a traditional dress she loves. When Leon returns, she's gone. He spots her near a bridge, and in that moment, memories of him overwhelm him. He runs to her and kisses her. Gia pulls back and asks, "Was that kiss meant for me or for him?" Leon stays silent. Gia gently touches his face and says, "I'm not so bad either." They both smile. Later, while walking in the forest, Gia avoids looking at Leon, frustrating him. She distracts him by pointing at fish, and when he compliments the view, she thinks he's talking about the fish until she sees him gazing at her. Embarrassed, she walks off. Leon says they're meeting the governor, one of the mountain spirits, who might know about her parents. He says the governor will come to them. For fun, they visit a fortune teller, who scans their past lives and says Gia was once a princess, while Leon was a laborer. Gia laughs, but the teller warns them not to stay together, or one will die. Meanwhile, Lai Rang visits the same fortune teller, who turns out to be blind. He senses Lai Yan was there and asks about the eyebrows of the tiger, magical glasses that reveal past lives. The teller says they vanished and offers to show them but refuses to sell them. When Lai Rang threatens him, the man warns that stealing them would trap him forever unless he offers his most valued possession. At the government office, Leon meets the governor, who turns out to be the brother of the fox bride Leon once killed. Despite a fierce fight with the governor and his men, Leon wins, and we learn the two are actually old friends who often spar like this. Gia then shows the governor her parents' photo and asks if he's ever seen them. The governor reveals the accident date and tells Gia that days before, a man came and warned he would cause it. He says the real target wasn't Gia's parents, but Gia herself. Shocked, Gia listens as the governor explains the man mentioned Gia has the king's scale, the Amugus scale. La Yan remembers seeing the mark on her neck and learns Amugus' spirit is tied to Gia. Gia wonders why La Yan keeps helping her, and he gently replies it's because he wants her to have a happy ending. La Yan asks Gia to help him find the man. He shows his phone, saying it will lead them to him. Lai Rang calls, and they head to meet him. La Yan tells Gia his brother won't give direct answers, but will do something that leads them to the man. Lai Yan uses magic to write a mark on shoes, which Lai Rang unknowingly wears. Once hypnotized, he walks straight to the target. Lai Yan and Gia follow. They visit a fortune teller. Lai Yan hides Lai Rang's shoes, which forces Lai Rang to wear the marked ones. After checking with a magnifying glass, the fortune teller confirms Lai Yan is Lai Rang's most valued person and gives him the eyebrows of a tiger. Hypnotized, Lai Rang heads off, with Gia and Lai Yan tailing him. But the fortune teller suddenly traps Lai Yan inside a small bag, forcing Gia to choose between saving him or following Lai Rang. The fortune teller demands Gia's most precious item in exchange for Lai Yan and gives her a deadline. She runs home, grabs a toy from the accident, and returns just in time. But it's not enough. The fortune teller sees the fox bead in Gia's hand and realizes it's her most precious thing. Gia unknowingly gives it away and frees Lai Yan, while child Amugi senses the bead is gone. On their way home, Lai Yan asks if Gia gave away 10 years of her life. She jokes it was worth it. She now considers him hers. Gia hides the truth about the fox bead. That night, Lai Yan tells Gia she can no longer meet her parents. She responds she still trusts him because he promised her a happy ending. After Gia falls asleep, Lai Yan visits Talupa to ask about Amugi. She tells him Gia accidentally brought Amugi back to life by giving away the fox bead. Lai Yan is devastated, saying he only wanted to live peacefully. Talupa warns him again that foxes and humans can't be together. Furious, he threatens destruction if Gia is harmed. He returns to ask Gia about the bead. She admits she gave it away without knowing its value. Concerned, Lai Yan decides to stay with her for safety. That night, Gia has a dream of a child she feels connected to. Lai Yan knows it's Amugi. Later, when Gia says he should sleep on the floor, he refuses and lies beside her. They share stories to help her sleep. In the morning, Gia gets ready for work, and Shinju warns her to stay safe, as Lai Yan would be deeply hurt if anything happened to her. At the office, Lai Yan shows up in a suit. He says he can go anywhere because he's a 9-tailed fox. At the studio, everyone greets him, he's hypnotized them. Gia asks how he'll wait for 24 hours, and he replies he could wait 24 years. Gia fixes his tie and leaves. Meanwhile, Amugi, now adult, emerges from his room. At lunch, Lai Yan watches Gia from a nearby table. When asked, he says he has a one-sided love. Gia blushes and admits she has feelings for him too. Elsewhere, Shinju follows Lai Rang and gets beaten. Lai Rang sends a photo of injured Shinju to Lai Yan, who confronts him and warns him to stay away from Amugi. That night, Gia and her team visit the president's house. He warns them not to touch a cherry plant or go upstairs. Gia hears strange noises from above and investigates. She finds a broken fingernail and nearly opens a door when Lai Yan calls. The president appears and tells her it was just the wind. Back home, Gia smells rice. Lai Yan cooked for her. She gives him his favorite ice cream, and they enjoy a movie. He gazes at her lovingly and says he wishes the moment would last forever. Gia agrees. The next day, Lai Yan buys shoes for Gia while she finds a mysterious box with tiger's eyebrows and a note. She wears the glasses and sees a vision of her and Lai Yan fighting. He kills Am. Lai Yan arrives and confirms what she saw. In a flashback, M's dad is possessed by Imugi. To save him, M lets Imugi enter her body. Lai Yan, seeing Imugi inside her, kills M. In the present, Jia is heartbroken. She realizes Lai Yan always meant to kill Am to stop Imugi. Lai Yan, hiding his pain, admits it's true and says he did it to save lives. Jia is deeply hurt, but Lai Yan wipes her tears and tells her not to waste her emotions on him. He leaves quietly. Meanwhile, the president, in pain, smells a cherry from a strange plant and instantly feels better. Lai Rang is also there, but is warned not to meet Imugi yet. Imugi, reading Lai Rang's thoughts, says Jia can't be killed because she's already a sacrifice's bride now. Shinju tries to cheer Lai Yan up with food and asks why he didn't tell Jia the truth. Lai Yan admits he'd rather be seen as a villain than reopen old wounds. He asks Shinju to watch over Jia. Meanwhile, Jia visits a psychiatrist for her story research. The doctor reveals Jia had hypnotherapy as a child, arranged by her mother. Jia watches an old CD where her younger self describes seeing people dead like animals and mentions Imugi, a creature from a cave. Terrified by what she sees, Jia shuts off the video. At home, Lai Rang receives a mysterious bottle from a green lady, triggering hallucinations of his childhood. He relives the trauma of being beaten by villagers and abandoned by his mother. Spirits attack him, and he fears Lai Yan won't save him this time. Meanwhile, the green lady gives Jia a similar bottle, sending her back to the day of her parents' car accident. Lai Yan is forced to choose between two doors. He chooses the wrong one, ending up saving Lai Rang instead of Jia. As the brothers fight spirits, Jia's real-world body collapses. Lai Yan and Lai Rang eventually escape the trap, but Lai Rang is poisoned. As they run, Jia wakes up in what seems to be her childhood home. She tests if it's real by asking her mom about her allergy, and when her mom responds correctly, Jia realizes it's really her. She embraces her, even if it's just a dream. Imugi and the Green Lady reveal they've been controlling Jia's subconscious. Shinju asks Talupa for help and returns with a red cloth to save Lai Yan and Jia. Meanwhile, Jia starts to realize the world she's in isn't real. She hears a drip from the Roman 4 in the real world but doesn't understand. She writes in her diary, then hugs her father when he calls her for dinner. Lai Yan and Lai Rang reach a cliff where Lai Rang must face his deepest fear, being abandoned, to escape. He does, and a door opens. Lai Yan stays behind to hold off spirits, then jumps into the ravine. Lai Rang wakes in the real world and rushes to save his brother. Shinju lays Jia beside Lai Yan and ties a red ribbon between their hands. In her dream, Jia gets a phone call. It's Lai Yan, telling her she must save herself to return. She begins remembering their moments together. Later, she tells her parents she must leave and promises to find them again. They ask how she'll survive alone, and she says, "Lai Yan is with me." Jia wakes up and tries to wake Lai Yan, crying on his chest. Meanwhile, Lai Yan collapses in the spirit world. The Green Lady finds him, but he grabs her, asking about Jia. She says Jia is fine. He then strangles Imugi, who escapes but loses a button in the struggle. Lai Yan kills the Green Lady, ending her in both worlds. Finally, Jia sees Lai Yan across the street holding a red umbrella. She runs to him, says she waited so long, and they kiss. Later, Imugi admits to the president that Lai Yan won't kill Jia in this lifetime. Emoji reveals that in a past life, he was meant to become a mountain spirit, but failed so in this life. He plans to take over the mountain spirit's body and win over Jia. Meanwhile, Li Yon takes Jia to a waterfall and asks if she wants to know why he killed Aiyam. Jia says she hasn't heard the full fox legend, so she believes there must have been a painful reason. Li Yon remembers when Aiyam, possessed by Imugi, attacked him. Though Imugi mocked him, Li Yon insisted Aiyam meant nothing to him. But when Aiyam briefly regained control, she begged Li Yon to kill her. Lee Yon tried to save her, but Imugi stabbed him. Even then, Lee Yon offered his body to save Aeum. When she regained control again, she begged him to end it, so he had to kill her. Back in the present, Jia holds Lee Yon's hand, thanking him and apologizing for making him wait. Lee Yon tells her he sees her as the present Jia, not a shadow of the past. Later, Shinju serves food while reporting that he didn't see Imugi, but saw someone take Lee Rang home. At Jia's workplace, the new intern Terry is introduced. He's actually Imugi. He tries to read Jia's mind but can't. Jia investigates a drained body and recognizes the victim's nails from the president's house. She confronts him and learns he's the man with the mark and has her childhood paper flower with a message from her parents. He offers her parents' location in exchange for the mountain spirit. Lee Yon appears behind Terry and warns him their encounter was inevitable. Imugi offers to release everyone if Lee Yon gives him his body. Lee Yon stabs Imugi, but it doesn't work because his current body is already dead. They fight on the rooftop, and Imugi reveals he's existed even before Lee Yon and was corrupted while worshipping a dragon. Meanwhile, Jia learns from the president that her parents are alive, but he demands Lee Yon in return. He gives her a bottle that will put Lee Yon to sleep. That night, Lee Yon surprises Jia with sneakers and asks what she truly wants. She says she wants both him and her family. Lee Yon asks Talupa if there's a way to separate Imugi from Jia. She tells him either Jia must die or Imugi must leave willingly. Still, Lee Yon chooses Jia. Later, they discover Jia's parents are hidden in ground cherries, once seen at the president's house. Lee Yon warns that they've been moved. Lee Rang meets the president and offers to bring Lee Yon instead of his heart. He gives him the sleeping potion. The next day, Lee Rang puts the drug in Lee Yon's coffee but feels guilty and throws the bottle away. Lee Yon collapses before realizing what happened. With Lee Yon unconscious, the president calls Imugi to come. Imugi is eating with coworkers but excuses himself, followed by Jia. She scolds him for leaving abruptly. Meanwhile, the president mocks Lee Rang, but is stunned when the person he attacks turns out to be Lee Rang in disguise. Flashbacks reveal Lee Yon had planned this with him. The real Lee Rang also wakes up, and they force the president to reveal the ground cherries. While Imugi finishes his dinner, Jia receives a photo from Lee Yon and confronts Imugi, who admits she's now in danger. But Jia says she knows Imugi can't kill her. She runs home, finds Lee Yon waiting, and hugs him. Inside, she reunites with her parents and shows them a flower with their message. Her father explains he was told Jia would find them if he wrote on it. Jia realizes it was Lee Yon who helped them. Her mom asks if he's the man they saw earlier, and Jia says yes, proudly calling him her boyfriend. That night, Imugi appears in Jia's dream and tells her they're linked by fate. He breaks a mirror, and Jia sees scars on her face. Terrified, she wakes up. The next morning, she shares the dream with Lee Yon, who comforts her. Jia then tells him her parents want to meet her boyfriend. Nervous, Lee Yon prepares for the meeting. Jia and her parents welcome him. Despite struggling to answer basic questions like age and education, he eventually wins them over. Later, Lee Yon and Jia talk about their future over coffee. Lee Yon says he wishes he were human. Jia comforts him and gives him a matching couple ring. Then the president comes begging for ground cherries. Lee Yon demands he reveal how to put Imugi to sleep. The president says they'll need sacred water, a living human's body, blood, and divine power. Afterward, Imugi video calls Jia, shows her hypnotized friends, and asks her to go on a date wearing the dress he sent. Though Lee Yon had warned her not to go, Jia accepts. Jia decides to meet Imugi and tries to confront him, even though he pretends to be kind. Imugi warns her that if she doesn't accept him, he'll harm everyone she loves. That night, while they're walking in the park, he asks her feelings. Jia says she only loves Lai Yan, which angers Imugi. He grabs her, but Lai Yan arrives and defends her. Together, they try to trap Imugi by using Jia's blood and a hair charm. But their plan fails. Emugi reveals that part of him is hiding inside Jia. She starts burning from within, and, for a moment, Emugi takes over her body. Jia begs Lai Yan to kill her so she won't hurt him, but he hugs her instead and takes her to Shinju's hospital. There, Lai Yan says he let Emugi hurt him to test him. Jia feels guilty, but Lai Yan comforts her. They try to enjoy peaceful moments together, even acting like a married couple for a day. But Emugi calls Jia, saying he'll soon control her fully. Meanwhile, Talupa's husband learns that she altered Jia's records to hide that Emugi is inside her. When he questions her, she admits that to destroy Emugi, Jia must die, but he reminds her of Lai Yan's love for Jia. Later, Jia leaves a note saying she's going home, trying to accept her fate. Lai Yan finds her, and they spend time together. At the same time, a hypnotized man goes to the police to confess to a murder caused by Emugi's manipulation. Jia admits her transformation is worsening and fears her end, but Lai Yan promises to protect her. Lai Yan gathers everyone and reveals Emugi lives in two bodies, Jia and someone else. Jia warns them that Emugi plans to start a deadly pandemic. The restaurant owner brings a wooden dagger from a fortune teller, said to kill evil spirits. Meanwhile, strange symptoms spread from the infected president to others, and people begin collapsing. Lai Yan says they must act now. They trap Emugi inside the restaurant with a magical setup. Jia pierces her hand to draw him out, and Lai Yan plans to stab him with the dagger. They bring in a snake so Emugi, once out of Jia, will have no body to enter. Inside the room, Jia tells Lai Yan not to hold back, even if she gets hurt. Emugi attacks and fakes Lai Yan's death. Then he tries to enter Lai Yan's body, but it's a trick. Lai Yan stands up, now holding Emugi's scale. The dagger turns out to be fake too. It was a test to uncover Emugi's secrets. As Lai Yan tries to trap Emugi in the snake, Emugi resists, but his power begins fading. Still, he unleashes a virus, killing many. Jia wakes up, and Lai Yan tells her he's ready to end everything for good. Outside, the restaurant owner asks him if he's found the answer he was seeking. Lai Yan discovers how Emugi transfers bodies and vows not just to remove him from Jia, but destroy him forever. Meanwhile, Jia learns people are dying, including her boss, just from touching someone infected by Emugi. Talupa had changed Jia's death record, and when Lai Yan confronts her, she coldly insists Jia must die to end Emugi. Lai Yan pleads for 3 days to stop him. Talupa warns him, only one life can be saved. Saddened, Lai Yan begins his plan. He will eat the fox scale, trap Emugi inside himself, and jump into the Samo River, knowing he'll never reincarnate or see Jia again. To trick Emugi, Lai Yan offers him a position greater than Mountain Spirit Gatekeeper of the Samo River if he kills Talupa and leaves Jia. Emugi is intrigued but suspicious. Later, Lai Yan and Jia go on a normal date, and Jia secretly asks him for a birthday gift. Lai Yan promises, telling her she must live. Meanwhile, Emugi starts planning to trap Lai Yan instead. Shinju warns Lai Rang about the plan, and they try to protect Jia from the president, who attacks. But Emugi awakens in Jia and kills the president himself. Lai Yan gives Emugi sleeping medicine for Talupa, saying her husband will make her drink it. Later, Lai Rang tells Jia Lai Yan plans to sacrifice himself. Shocked, Jia says she'd rather die than hurt Lai Yan. They all prepare for the final fight. Talupa tells Lai Yan there's a way to save both Jia and himself. When Jia is near death, Emugi will leave her body, and Talupa will turn him to stone. Lai Yan is relieved, but Emugi, disguised as Talupa's dead son, reaches her first. Furious, Talupa attacks, but Emugi turns her to stone. Lai Yan, Lai Rang, and Jia find Talupa turned to stone. Emugi starts beating Lai Yan using Jia's body. Jia nearly shoots herself to stop Emugi, but Lai Yan eats the scale instead, trapping Emugi inside him. Emugi weakens. Lai Yan had taken Evening Primrose to poison him. They fight to the river gate, and Lai Rang helps. Lai Yan asks to be stabbed, drags Emugi to the gate, says, "I love you" to Jia, and jumps in. Emugi dies, and Lai Yan disappears. Months later, Jia still hopes for Lai Yan's return. She starts filming a documentary called Tale of the Nine-Tailed with Lai Rang. On her birthday, she receives the wedding dress Lai Yan had bought and a heartfelt letter from him. She breaks down in tears. Then the judge of the afterlife arrives, answering Talupa's repeated calls. He tells Jia to bring Lai Yan back. She must give her most precious thing her remaining life. Jia agrees, but Lai Rang sacrifices himself instead. Sometime later, it rains, and Jia is handed Lai Yan's red umbrella. She runs out and finds Lai Yan across the street. Shocked, she asks if it's really him. He says yes, but that he's now fully human. She hugs him, promising to never leave him again. At home, they reunite emotionally. Lai Yan watches Jia's videos, including Lai Rang's final message, "In the next life, I want to meet my brother again." Lai Yan cries deeply. Later, Lai Yan visits Talupa to say goodbye, since humans can't enter the afterlife office. Time passes, and he and Jia marry. Years later, in the park, a boy falls off his bike. Lai Yan helps him up and realizes he's Lai Rang reincarnated. The boy thanks him and rides away. Jia meets Lai Yan after work and tells him she saw a masked man whose face wouldn't show. Lai Yan realizes it's the spirit of misfortune. That night, while Jia sleeps, Lai Yan takes his red umbrella, now turning into a sword, and heads out, revealing he still has his fox powers, and with this drama end.